opportunities of linkage for startups, even from mega businessmen like you to startups in my village in Rongo. Welcome, Jimmy. Wapi makofi.
Asante sana. My good brother, Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, distinguished guests, protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I thought you had breakfast. You have no voice. Good morning. I am very honored to be here today as a fellow businessman to Investera, and I want to congratulate them. Business is about solving problems, and I think you can attest to the fact that even in the kingdom of heaven, Jesus admitted entrepreneurs because they solved problems. This is a big attempt and a very noble attempt at solving problems. You know, there is a great man called Martin Luther King who said that we are not makers of history, we are made by history. I repeat, we are not makers of history, we are made by history. Kenya is a very, very important country in the world. I don't even want to say just Africa. But these borders you call Kenya were not made by us. They were made by a scramble for this continent. And that scramble was precipitated by wars in another continent called Europe. This is where they said that we are fighting for resources. We are not stopping our wars. We have found new territory called Africa. That is where we are now going to go, and peace will be found. So they cut us up in a conference in 1883. And when they cut us up in that conference in 1883, Kenya was colonized by the British. They were conquerors. It's okay. It is their right. Even we should be conquerors. That history has brought us to where we are today. We had to fight colonialism. We got our period of independence, which was a great period, struggle and taking back the reins of this nation. We went on to go through our own internal decolonization called the Second Liberation. That Second Liberation had its heroes too, just like the first. And my good brother here is a champion, is a hero of that period, and a great hero. We would not be here in this room had we not had that. History, again, making us who we are. We are now at a different phase. This phase is called economic liberation, because there's no greater liberation. But you cannot understand this liberation if you do not understand what we are made of. We are a product of a lot of what has happened from when this country was called Kenya. And this economic liberation you will not attain at all until we address what we are made of. We ourselves, even as Kenyans, we don't even know our true identity. We have countries like India that were colonized for 300 years, yet they didn't lose their names. They did not lose their food, their religion, their clothing, their systems, even their caste systems. But we, as a bottle called Kenya, are not clearly identified. We lost our names, we lost our religion, we lost our resources. Now we must bottle that product called Kenya. We must identify it. We must define it. We must bottle it up so that we are proud of who we are. We must bottle it up so that now we know that we must protect this product called Kenya. You heard our good PS talking about my passion for not wanting to see our entrepreneurship, our great minds, ideas, innovations being taken away, because it has happened for far too long. Far too long. We have some of the brightest people in the world, some of the most hardworking people. This is part of the bottling of a Kenyan. And our ideas are being taken away because maybe we don't have money. But ideas are money. Innovation is money. We must stop this drain. And we must stop it now. This is the liberation. In other countries, they protect it. They sit back and say, you want to invest in our people here? 51%. In fact, Investera comes from a country where that is law. No matter how much money you're putting to a startup, you must have local investors that are 51% of that shareholding. They must be protected. We talked about M-Pesa, the PS mentioned it. None of you can even name the person who created M-Pesa. That was a Kenyan like us here. We appreciate the investment, the idea, we use it. It has been a great problem solver in these times of COVID. But can you name the Kenyan who created M-Pesa? Who lobbied for it? Who got investment for it? It is a product owned by foreigners. We must start talking about our local people, our local brands, who we are as a people. And they must not be taken away from us anymore. This is our time. And our time begins now, not tomorrow. Our greatness is here with us. And please, let us not substitute it for 2 cents. Investera is creating a wonderful platform. Let us use this platform to stop the drain of our brand, of who we are. We must stop it. I don't know whether any of you know it, but the future, for example, is now going to be about green energy. It's about green energy. That is the fuel of today, tomorrow, the day after. Just like oil is as we use today. That is in our ground here. And in a lot of our region of Africa. Renewable energy is our future if we are going to survive as a continent. But if we are not careful, it will be colonized. We will not own it. We will not have it. We will not bequeath our future generations that which they were promised by our forefathers who fought for this land. We must stop this now. Investera is great. Let us connect the linkages. They are solving problems. But at the same time, let us ensure that we do not lose our brand, who we are, what we are about. That is the future that will liberate you. Because there is no greater liberation than economic liberation. And that, please, is guaranteed in the Constitution of 2010, in Article 43. On that note, or a few notes,